Brother Swami, welcome back. We just had a conversation and about 2 hours of the Satsang, first part of the Satsang. And we had a lot of interesting subject we spoke about. But last Satsang, we only posted the second part. So I'm still considering to post maybe first part of that Satsang, having been posted on YouTube. But this group we have here, not everything is posted on the YouTube. There's reason for that. Some aspects we speak about are just for this specific group. So let me address few subjects. One of the subjects when Satsangi spoke to me on the phone not long ago was the subject of radiant form of the Master. Now in Sant Mat, when we refer to radiant form of the Master, we refer to the form of the Master after initiation. So when you initiated by perfect living Master, like Mr. Puri, you receive the instructions. I did receive instructions how to meditate. And part of this instruction is to establish a radiant form of the Master. Now that form of the Master exists. It's within you. But this is not a form of the Master as many people experience. Sometimes I listen to this discourses. I listen to explanations. Many people have many different explanations. But generally, this is a huge misunderstanding about that. Now, this radiant form of the Master, let me start maybe that when you initiated by PLM, by Perfect Living Master, this initiation takes place region above. So we generally refer this to Shahazdan Kamal, the different pronunciations. And that's where this initiation takes place. So let me explain that no PLM initiates you in the physical here. This initiation takes place in the region above. So let's explain a little bit about that. Now, region above, this is the Astral region. Next region above this physical, a pint. So now we're not dealing with the physical form of the Master, as in here, around here, as you met Mr. Puri, had Hidarshan, but we refer to the radiant form of the Master, which is the astral form. Now, this experience we have, you can look at this at the point of 5 different bodies, okay? Try to keep this symbol, because really there are 18 chakras. 6 in the pinned body or physical form, and there are 6 other in the inner body. We generally refer to these regions as Brahman or Brahmanda, and there are another 6 in the region, let's call it above that, We call this Par-Brahman or Par-Brahmanda. But they all represented in a physical form. Although this 6 and not the centers, they're located, they actually represent in the inner forms. So to really understand that, this is the very few people know about this. I spoke to my master about that, about the 18 chakras, because this is a story, Mr. Puri, it's recorded in his satsangs. He talks about story about the Swami with the followers, and you know, the 5 major yoga systems, starting from Hatha Yoga and ending at Surcha Yoga, you may say, or Shabad Yoga, Radha Swami Yoga. So, but the Swami, he was speaking, he gave the blessings to the great master. And the great master Hazur Baba Savansen gave blessings to him, but this master was referring to 18 chakras, so 18 centers. And this Swami says, "Well, what is that? What is about? What are you talking about? This 18 chakras?" And so he wasn't aware, although he was presented himself as this very high guru, and he had the following. He asked the great master, "Can you explain that to me?" And he said, yes. Mr. Puri says that the great master told the Swami to come over to Dera, and he will explain that more about that. So he did. So finally, Swami left he told his sun god, or the group of disciples he had, that he's leaving. He dismantled in that sense, spiritual sense, and he said that he's going to follow the great master, So in this satsang, when we speak about the inner bodies or inner forms or chakra systems, we refer to the system as the great master was referring to. And this is a little bit different than the yoga systems like Hatha Yoga or Pranam Yoga or Kriya Yoga and all these different yogas. And they, within the consciousness from the Hatha, they go, on the stages. So the stage that Swami was teaching, and this was not the ultimate stage Great Master was teaching. So what we refer here in this satsang is to what the Great Master was teaching and my master was referring to. Now, my master will explain some of this, but when I was with him privately, I will discuss this with him. And Grace is a witness. You were there too, also, all the time. And Master would say, "Cezary, not many people know about this." He will say, these are his exact words. And so I will discuss this with him and more. And he will explain. I mean, I brought the subject to him, and he just explained that and beyond that, because I brought something even beyond that. So when I talk to you, I'm not speaking about, I just read something or this and that, but I actually literally spoke to my master about this. And his answer to that was, not many people know about this. And this has to do with this whole system. But this is the system we practice in Surcha Yoga, or Shabad Yoga. And this is a little bit different than many other yoga systems. For example, I will hear some of the even initiated people by Mr. Puri, they will explain this. They will say, start in the center of your head to that sixth chakra in the pin body, so to speak, and then we'll say, you know, to meditate, do visualization and all that, and they will say go up to the crown chakra, Sahasrara. So many of you who saw the statues of Buddha, this 1,000 petals on, you know, this and so forth. And but this is not social yoga. So some will give you a discourse and they will direct you through that path. This is the path of Kundalini and this center. And in Sucha Yoga, we do not practice that. This is totally different path. And that path goes horizontally. And there's another. And this path is called Camino Royal by the Great Master, which you can transfer to Royal Road, or as the Great Master, Royal Highway. This is different part in Sucha Yoga, okay? So this is not what we practice. And this is not what we explain in Ishwar Puri Santma. We explain this as my master was explaining, and the Great Master, and so forth. These are these true masters. So many people confuse this. They will look different chakra systems, you know, from Muladhara all the way to Shivanera, or all the way to the Agna and all this, and then go up, you know, to the crown, and another one, and one above that, and so forth. Please understand that we are not teaching here in this Ishwar Puri Santma Kriya Yoga or other yoga systems. We're not teaching here asanas. There's one word describing this yoga, which is a very interesting word. But at this stage, we're describing this as surat, or surt, or surasha yoga. And we started the sixth center in the pin body, which is in the center of your head, behind the eyes. But there's a pineal gland, though, and there's in front, there's a pituitary gland. There's like this between connection. There's a place though which they call Cave of Brahma. There's a place when we meditate, okay? But this meditation, when we speak about piercing the sky, or piercing the astral sky, or piercing through the sky of Chikuti to Shunya, so to speak, this is a different path. So I like to explain that. And this path, this centers horizontally and following. This is Sucha Yoga. These are these 18 chakras. Now, the chakras of Brahman, or Brahmanda, they're 6. And they have a different numbers of, lotus flowers. So they explain that, 2 like a spiritual eye, and they will show you the colors. You can all find out that. There's a lot about this. And so we meditate on the Sucha Yoga path. When you meditate from you awake right now in your gross body. You're listening to me through the senses. And so you're in the center, but there's I'm trying to address this because my master speaks about imagination, right? I mean, he speaks about imagination and as the key, and some people say imagination for meditation and things like that. But please understand that this is addressing stage. These masters, they sharing only so much they can with the sun god. And Sangat, as we explained, this is the group of the Satsangis. And I mentioned before, I think that I don't think we published that on YouTube, but there are two types of satsangs. One satsang is when there's a PLM and a group of disciples. This is one type of the satsang. So there's a perfect living master in physical form speaking to disciples. 10, 20, 100, 200, 300. I'm referring to the Mr. Puri, like I said before, mostly I probably saw 400 people maybe at the master would speak to in physical form to audience of the satsangis. So this is the one form of the satsang. So let me make this clear. The satsang, the true satsang, is the company of the master. And the company of the perfect living master, it means the master in a physical form. Master, you have a physical form. I have a physical form. And to address this, so does the master. Now we all understand the concepts of the Shabbat, or the master, within and as the Shabbat, and all that. The true master is the Shabbat. And so, yes, we all understand, but please understand, you have a physical body. Having physical body, this whole relation, you need that's why we have a perfect living master, because the karma is created in physical form. So the decisions and this whole that's a lot of going on. So that's why you need the form of the perfect living master. So when one master leaves, there's always someone taking over, and the previous master, and this has to be someone who has power of Nam Dan, the power of initiation and power of Nam, and that is very rare. There are many gurus, many masters, but they all can initiate you according to their state of consciousness. So in the case of Mr. Puri, this has to be someone who share that consciousness. This is to fulfill that role. And in Ishwar Puri Santman, we refer to Mr. Puri because there are other masters. Some of them I met Santman. I've been part of movement of, for example, Rajendra Sen. I met him. I spoke to him, and that was a long time ago. But I am initiated by Mr. Puri. So going back to the radiant form of the master, the radiant form of the master from the center, if there is okay, let me explain this. There's behind your eyes, two eyes. If you're in the center, you don't have to find yourself in the center, okay? A little guy sitting in the chair or something. Although this master will explain, you can decorate this, you can do this and that, but this is because of the receptivity of the Sangha, of the disciples. They don't know better. This is the state of the group consciousness of the Satsangis, of the Sangat, of the people master addresses. Okay, he has to put something around this so people can actually understand. But if you go deeper, especially if you go beyond the second stage, which is like most second stage in the Sant Mat, you know that you're in the center. And this is what you have to realize, that you are observing, you are in the center right now. Don't imagine you are in the center, or you're a little guy sitting, or some people even see the center in the head and looking from the back. this little guy sitting there. The different misunderstanding. This is not Surcha Yoga. You are in the center, but in front of the center, let's say there's area in front of the center. And I spoke to Pranay some time ago about this. Let's call this area where I told Pranay, said to explain that. I explained this. This is the area when the waveform becomes the particle, so to speak. So those of you who are interested in quantum physics or anything like that, or this experience when observer causes the waveform of photons become the particle. Okay, so this is kind of, I'm trying to explain that, which inner manifest outside into the spin world. Okay, so this is but if you look these centers, let's say from the side of the head, from the side, and you have an X-ray vision, you can see this go like that. Okay, and Mr. Puri speaks about that. I never heard him naming those centers, what they call. So what are the names of the centers? So I'm kind of being over caution, trying to just give a general idea, but they go like this, and then the root of the nose, and they go up. So, and the top one will be what you call the satlot, and the most top one, what you will call Anami Purush, Anami Loka, or the center. So we're still speaking about human form. So when you do Surcha Yoga meditation, and if you're not doing right, you can spend 40 years. You have to do it the way as prescribed in Surcha Yoga. So when you do this meditation, you have to go through this, let's call it centers, or let's call this sun and moon, sun and moon worlds and all this, okay? And then you have to pierce that tendon, so to speak, to Shahasdan Kamal. And that's located here and behind, between your eyebrows, so to speak, you may say, Now I'm referring to 18 chakras, as a great master explained. So the radiant form, it's not just simply closing your eyes and imagine as Mr. Puri looked. And this may be helpful, this may be on the stage, and the way this manifestation, this process works from the inner to the outer. How this physical world is actually manifested, through that. But this is the Asa form of the master. So you have to access that at the Asa region, not just at the spiritual center. You have to go, and this is explained by these masters. Great master explained how to meditate, and so the other masters, Kirpal Singh explained this. You can read how they explain that, and we mentioned that before in some satsangs. So now the instructions how to do this, really the time to ask is to, when you have an interview, let's say, with the master, when you initiated by the master, and then you can ask him all these questions, and he will explain to you. But how many people do that? Now, to to really learn meditation, there are books, there are descriptions, and so forth and so forth. There are many sources you can research. But ultimately, you can also go to your master. Well, in case of Mr. Puri, you can, because he passed away. And so you can go within, assuming that you are connected with the radiant form of the master, and assuming this is not just the mind. And ultimately, it will be the mind. So when you listen to many different explanations, many discourses, and all these different groups, there's so many different groups, even when Mr. Puri was alive, but now it's even more. And this is mind. And the true experiences. Some people will claim, oh, I had experiences Alakagam and Anami, or they will say 24/7, I have this experience. Really? This is not how this exactly works. You'd be vegetable laying in a bed, because the brain can only handle so unless the brain itself, physical brain, is prepared for that. I mean, now this Ucha Yoga, it's actually it's an easy path. It's an easy yoga to practice, because we're bypassing all the energy centers. We start from the center here, the 6, and then we start from there and follow the path as prescribed by the great master. So it is not a difficult path, but it's a very misunderstood path. And many people, even people who for decades in Sant Mat or following the different gurus, they will explain this to you totally differently and wrong. You will never reach what you're seeking following that. Now, there's some gurus who, very high gurus in Sant Mat, who will even explain that when you meditate, to look the outside here. And I heard that, there are gurus who will teach you, and these are very high gurus, so to speak, from outside, but they will teach you to meditate outside. But that is not the way of meditation. You have to go. So if you take 2 fingers, this distance, right? So from the eyes, you have to go within. And I think Kriya Yoga explained this like a 3 inches in, maybe. So this center here, the 6, this is explained by many yoga systems and some other centers, but not what we're talking about. To reach the true home, true Sachkhand, this is the path, as Swamiji of Agra explains, okay, or Rali Saligram explains, or Great Master Hazur Baba Saba Singh explains, or as my master, Mr. Puri, explains. Although I heard many talks of Mr. Puri, even recorded, and there's one talk I sent to Nick to post this on Ishwar Puri Sanman, because Master tapped into this little bit, what we've been talking for the last 3 years. Excuse me. So the radiant form is this is the form at the level, on the next higher level, when you get actually initiated. By the way, Master's radiant form is just like your radiant form, your astral form. So This is very, very interesting subject from this all universal mind and the practice of this path as within this mind and the stages. Which one is the gross stage, and the other one will be a dream state, but not the dream as you dream in when you go to sleep, when you go down. But this is the other stage here. And another will be the going to the Trikuti, the dreamless state, and tapping into Shunya. So most of you probably think I know how to meditate, or I have these old experiences or real experiences, and many people will speak about the ego will all these different groups that will share this and that, giving reference to this and that, but that is just the mind, that is just the ego. The real experience is something very deep and something very few will actually share. And the mind will trick you. The mind will trick you that you reach such kind. So we're trying to avoid that, and to avoid that, I mean, we need the master, no matter how you look. The other interesting part is that I noticed that after Mr. Puri passed away, there are many people making many different claims. And they will say, oh, master told me this, or master told me that, or they even make a claim, I am the master, at least one or two. They actually did make that claim. Please understand, this is not how it works. You will never know. No one will ever know. I will never know. You will never know. The only way to know is to be the master. And that is the one person. There may be 5 or 10 people claiming, but there can be only one. So when you talk about perfect living master, this is what you're referring to. Then there could be 8 masters around, but the question, are they all perfect living master? They may claim they're perfect living master, but they still operate from the level they are, which they may, this is very taboo subject. So we have to be very careful who we keep a company with and who do we listen. Mr. Puri was asked, have you been to Satsang or have you seen Radha Swami? Satsang would be Satloka, Radha Swami would be Anami Loka. He declined to answer the question. He said, his answer was, I don't have a permission of my master to answer this. And this is the right answer. But many people will make the claim that they are there, or they have experiences in Anami, or experiences in that and that. In their mind, they do. Just like in their mind, they think they're in Sachkhand, but they in the top of the mind. So we have to be very careful how we practice this. So the center, they call the center, I had this conversation with Pranay. He sent me a message. I sent him so I sent to Pranay, Chidakash, or something called Shidakasha. But this is some will explain this in poetry like that in front of the spiritual eye. So this imagination, it's an incredible tool to use. But the point I'm trying to make, the imagination also can create totally imaginary states and experiences. They are all illusion, including the sounds, and including the light, and including the projections you will see. They will not be the master. There will be projections of your own mind. And you will be convinced that they are the master. So the mind can play a lot of tricks. And I had a lot of experience with that. When I say a lot of experience, I had a lot of experience with that, with this toolpath, let's say, call it, like in this Tibetan Buddhism or this Bon religion in Tibet. You see, you can use imagination and create this archetypes. They can be religious archetypes, or they can be even you can see this manifestation of these beings who never had a physical body. They never lived. They never actually lived. They never had a, but you can create that. For example, this may be very controversial. I may get in trouble for this, but I was a student in Ekankar. So I went through some initiation in Ekankar. Those who were in Ekankar or who are in the MSIA, for example, this movement, this initiation and so forth. But I wasn't active in MSIA, but this is very similar. For example, so in Ekankar, the Potwichel who started Ekankar, who was initiated by Kirpa Sen, at that time, I spoke to one Satsangi who explained that to me. But anyway, he lives in Minnesota, actually. So he was interesting. Of course, I was initiated in Ekankar, so I knew. And my nature is I want to know the truth. I'm not just satisfied. Someone tells me something and that's it. And when I was 10 years, I was in Ekankar, and how many years you were? A little bit less, maybe. So we both were in Ekankar, and I went to met a lot of high initiates, which is fifth and above. We will go to restaurants, in the Chanhassen in Minnesota, and so forth. I mean, but in Ekankar, you have these masters. You have these masters, they call it Ek masters. And these are the personalities who never walked the earth. They are not never been alive or not in the past or anything. These are just simple archetypes. This is the pure imagination. Someone will make a picture of the person and implant these archetypes, but they are revered as the real masters. Okay. And I can give you the names and all of these different masters, but that's beside the point. But this is the principle. And this is the principle used. This is the principle used by many movements or religious movements to convince you that you're dealing with the real master and you're not. So even if there was a real master, they will substitute that. They will deny the real one and substitute, like Paul Twitchell did with Kirpa Sen, started the Ekankar movement, and then John Rogers was there in Ekankar. He got to the MSIA. He started his movement. But these are these archetypes within. These are not the real masters, like in Ekankar. So you can really get trapped into that. And this is something that we're trying to not to fall into, because I literally was right in my arms and legs and in my mind were in it. So Grace and I, but the self will, the consciousness will prevent that from. This was just experience I actually needed to do my 7 now. I won't be able to even explain that to you. So when you go and meditate, you do not meditate on the fictional masters. Even if someone show you the picture, and this has to be someone who actually was a live person, real master, and this is how the initiation works. So all these initiations, you may have up to 12 or so in Ekankar, and there's a lot more to it, and which I know from my master about, but not something I would like to speak about that. Not many people know. You'd be surprised who Mr. Puri was dealing with. Who will go over to Mr. Puri, and anyway, this is not a different subject. Pranay may know what I'm referring to a little bit because I spoke to him about some of this. So when you meditate, don't meditate on some fictional entity, because this may not be even astral figure at all, or entity. This is a pure creation of your mind, and this can spread around for thousands or tens of thousands of followers, and that's what they will practice. So why would the perfect living master allow that to happen? Because this is the stage of the seekers. This is what they're seeking. They're seeking the heaven on the astral. And then that's what they will follow. That's this whole will revolve around that. The other concept is of the dream, or the dream master. So like in Ekankar, there's this whole concept of dream master, which we all will fed to, Grace and I, and all of that. By the way, once you're in that, it's very hard to break out of it. Your mind becomes so conditioned, and that's why many people become schizophrenics, and they see things, but these are not real things. These are not real masters. And can this happen in the other paths? Yes. Now the question is, can this happen in some of the teachings as we refer to? Now you have to answer the question to yourself. That's why I caution everyone: be very careful who you follow to, because as Kabir explained, there's 12 parts of Kara Niranjan. These are the real traps. I found them to be actually real traps. In this case, I just was speaking about, this is the Timir Dud, kind of relating to that. This is the second trap of Niranjan. So this can manifest in many different ways. So to come across the real master with the real power of Namdan, operating from the real Sachkhand or Satlok, that is very rare. And one of these videos, I believe we posted that, maybe the last video or one before that, because the last video we posted was wasn't video, right? It was just a voice recording of Mr. Puri. Mr. Puri at the end explained that to be initiated by the perfect living master, he gives you the answer to many of your questions, he gives you the answer that this is a very rare. And he says, paraphrasing, he says that this is very rare because the true seekers are very rare. This to come across the true seeker, this is like lifetime experience. These are very rare individuals, souls who are true seekers. So when I refer to this satsang between the master, like Mr. Puri, and the disciple, master and the disciple, I am referring to that, to the true satsang. And during that true satsang, things can be revealed, which will never be revealed in an open satsang. So the master is the same, but the way he will address the questions, still the mind has the questions, from the sun god, like when he's sitting in front of the 100 people and he gets these cards with the questions, like Mr. Puri, he will read the card and will say this. He's addressing, although there are many levels of meaning to what he says, some people will get it, some people will not. He's addressing the group consciousness of the satsang and individual consciousness of each satsangi or listener who maybe or may not be initiated or by a different guru or master. But still, to really get your answers, you have to go to your master. And you have to go when master is alive.